All right, let's look at lesson 82, buying and selling airtime, just to kind of close this up. And just as a throw forward, 83, 84 are so they are just a breakdown of what we have covered before in the RAB 10 I think it's 10 steps or 10, yeah, it's 10 steps, right, to writing great copy, which I will be using to put together some great copy in our contact session. So please remember that for the very last week, which is next week, right? Saturday. Okay. All right. So let's quickly get this because this is also a very short lesson, but very, very important as well. When we start looking at that copy, there are it's an art form, as I've said before, and I've shown you some copy before as well. So the goal of radio advertising copy is to one, be very clear, credible, original, relevant, and empathetic when you are sending out this particular message to your listener. So the script shouldn't be a one draft thing, like write whatever you want and make sure that it's 30 seconds and it's got some things in there and it says some things about something else. So in other words, to be careless about that and kind of like nonchalant about it is not. Like with any job, there has to be proficiency and like a holistic approach to what it is that you're doing. A well-written script should resonate deeply with that listener. So yes, when we are brainstorming ideas, it's different. When we're sitting down with a client, finding out more about what it is that they want in this particular copy that we are writing. It's different. We're doing some research. We're putting that together, and we're finding out how to best deliver the message that they want, that particular point, to the listener in the best way. So scripting is science. Follow a systematic approach to build an effective advertising message, which as far as I can't even remember what the S1 is about, but I'm definitely sure that it has something to do, part of it has something to do with writing copy and advertising because we've been focusing so heavily on it in this last part of this year. So make a message clear, credible, and once again, original and authentic to a target audience. And when we do audience research, we know who we're speaking to because the research is sound. Research their needs to create the copy to speak directly to them. So, what is design thinking? It is creative problem solving, and it's a process that we do as creatives all the time, right? In whatever kind of context you want to talk about it, you want to refer to it, that's what we do. Creative problem solving. What's the objective? To develop effective, original, relevant, and authentic ads. Repetition is the key to obviously success, I'm guessing, right? So the model is designing for growth, DFG. And so with the questions, the questions that we must ask when we are developing obviously like a promotion, a competition, advertise, obviously like copy for an advertisement, 30-second spot, 50-second spot, 45-second spot, doesn't matter, right? Okay, a live read, etc., etc. We need to ask ourselves, what is, what if, what wows, and what works? So understanding the audience will then give us the what is part, right? So what is this all about? If we empathize with the listener, that means we engage with users to uncover articulated and unarticulated needs. So in other words, the stuff that's very clear and the stuff that isn't at all. So example is understanding buying decisions for washing powder. Why would we buy it? One, obviously we need to clean clothes, right? But the thing is that some of us don't have a washing machine. We have to use like well, obviously washing powder that is for hand washing. So there's a different directive over there, and there's pricing, and then there is demographic, that we must think of. Then we think about obviously, washing powder, that I don't know what it's called, but washing powder for your washing machines, like um, what is that called? What's that called? That's so weird. It's a washing machine. It is called a washing machine. I have one. I know. if you don't refer to it often, you just think, I forget the name anyway. You have this washing machine. Then also there are different types of washing machines. You can have a laundromat, which have those big industrial washing machines. You can have a home washing machine. Then we have like a tumble dryer or whatever it is afterwards. Different, obviously, products work for different machines. And then also what the product promises as well. So we have premium brands and we have obviously what would the well, no, not say commonplace brands would be a better word to use in terms of that, right? So the with all these different variables that we can think of and who is buying, what can they afford, what are they earning, how often it is, for example, like a family of four or five is definitely going to be washing clothes quite often and big. When I say washing often, you're going to go two or three or four I don't know what it is called, like runs, right? Washing runs, just to get the family stuff all done. Do you understand? And that will happen 10 to 1 weekly, as most of us do wash our clothing weekly, right? So that person would probably want a little bit more value for their money, and they would look at maybe a cheaper, but obviously maybe not the cheapest of brands, which again is always hand washing powder, right? But great brands exist that work at a premium level that are affordable. Things like Mac. What is the yellow one? The yellow one. Oof, I can't even think of. But anyway, Mac is very good, as we know, and is it's a great price in comparison to what washing powder is really expensive just in general. Okay. So as I carry on and on and on, these are many different things that I would understand in terms of who is buying this product, why they're buying it, and then I can then decide, listen here, let me give for washing powder. It's not fun to make it creative, a washing powder advert, right? This needs to be directed like for the needs of that particular consumer, right? So the listener that is going to go buy this particular brand of washing powder. One thing is why is the washing powder or why is the brand, should I say, seeking to advertise their washing powder brand, right? It's maybe because it's a new, obviously, maybe it's a new release, it's a new formula, whatever it may be. Maybe the product is completely new from a new a brand or product developer, whatever it is. These are big reasons why someone would come to a station and say, I'd like to advertise my washing powder brand. Articulated needs, direct responses from the consumer, unarticulate are the subconscious reasons for behavior. So use implicit questioning techniques like I just have. So what if the time is considered, this time is considered an opportunity for brainstorming, creative ideation, right? So use the data gathered to form a compelling story and incorporate storytelling principles into your ad. For example, so never mind when you do the hook, the crumbs, the payoff, and the blackout, which you know the construct of. We're now going to think of, let's say, a parent, okay, so not necessarily a mother or a father, but a parent that has very little time on their hands or very little money to work with, or a lot of kids, or so we want to be able to see how is this washing powder going to make their life easier, or again, it's going to be more. How can I say, what is it? When you save money, I don't know what now a fancy word for that is, but anyway, affordable. Not so fancy, but anyway, that was the word I'm looking for. Affordable and so is attractive. The four parts of effective storytelling, we know the hook is to grab the listener's attention. We can do that as in making a big bold statement for this washing powder. The crumbs keep the listener engaged. It's only 30 seconds long, so these things happen very quickly. The payoff is deliver the key message, how much it costs, where you can find it, I'm saying how you can buy it, And whatever it is, if there is any contact information that you would need, or like a social media account that you need to follow, whatever it is, maybe a special is taking place. You can buy two like a kilo at this particular price across all outlets, whatever it is. The blackout is a signal for the end of that particular advert. Okay, then that leads us to the first, obviously, our first attempt at scripting. So, announcement, one person voice speaking directly to the listener, like in hard sells and soft sells, it is always that one person that is talking to and taking us through that particular advert. Keep it very simple, active, and engaging. For example, hey, you, did you know that dialogues are a natural conversation between two or more people? For example, ensure that the dialogue sounds authentic. Um, vignettes, right? I think it's vignettes. It's brief, um, evocative scene to describe a problem or a solution. Someone's, got a flat tire. They're trying to deal with the insurer because there's been an accident. They are trying to, I don't know, match 93 to 95 when they're filling in petrol. They are looking for an energy boost and want to buy Red Bull, whatever it may be, right? Got to take them through these situations where they might be talking to themselves, there might be internal dialogue, bit of acting is going on to paint the picture or the scenario where the solution, which is the brand, the product or the service that you're selling, is what they're looking for. The sweet smell of apple crumble and a tiny red ant climbing, as a narrative-based storytelling, a story with a conflict that is resolved using a product or service that poor ants, right? But anyway, use real life relatable scenarios to tell your story. Be open to different formats and brainstorm with your target audience and problem solve that very clearly as far as you can, open to ideas. That's the whole thing about brainstorming. Any idea is a good idea, even if it's a bad idea, because you've got to work the process through it. Combine formats if necessary, right? So in other words, the formats that you've seen here, we might decide a little bit of a narrative and a little bit of like a role-playing situation, right? Very short and again, very succinct. So, for example, I can think of an advert right now where a woman it's for Burger King, right? And I always bring up Burger King because we have so much advertising with them all the time, right? Anyway, so where there's a woman and she's now reflecting, she's telling a story about this particular person that kind of crossed her, right? And then there is a narrator, like a commentator, right? That will make small nuances in terms of commentary that adds to the story development. It's a really good advert as well. And I'm not going to play it out now because I'm gonna have to, I don't know where to find it, but I'm saying to you, there's a bit of a hybrid of narration and then storytelling, like role playing, because she's playing a character and she's got a bit of an accent and she's got a bit of a mood and her, again, like her end game is to really like out this one guy. Anyway, so again, combine different formats if needed. Key considerations that we must think of in terms of visualizing that script. Use really vivid, strong terminology to be able to, and diction, to be able to paint that picture very quickly and very clearly to that listener. Creativity needs to come in a very simple form for it to be effective in general, right? So stimulate emotions and create a clear call to action. Go find, go buy, go visit, go subscribe, come whatever to on this day. And the final checklist here is that you should use clear, active language, like active, not passive. Ensure an emotional engagement, connect to their needs, right? provide a compelling call to action. Do this now. Buy it here. Sale is on from, and focus on that hook first. An example radio ad script could look like this. Tired of laundry piling up? What if we told you there's an easier way? So now we're thinking, okay, good. Like, tell me this easier way of how laundry can be less piled up. The crumbs. With Wash Pro, laundry is a breeze. Payoff. Say goodbye to tough stains with one wash. Because we know that, okay, and there's obviously the blackout, which says, go buy Wash Pro now and give the bit of the tagline, which is not provided here. Okay, but very simple. This is very short, and this wouldn't be the whole ad, like, because that's less than 10 seconds or so. It's about 10 seconds. But that's what we want to be. Nice and clear. Give us the pro, give us the name of the product, Wash Pro. It's a breeze. And you know that when there's a stain, oh man, I, I've got a towel that is rancid, only because I use it all the time for rancid cleaning or drying. So for stuff outside, this, that, whatever it may be, mud on the car, I don't know. That thing needs to be washed continuously over and over if I really want it to be clean. So this would appeal to me, Wash Pro. All right, I'm going to take one of these videos. So on a second, yeah. So go here. I'm going to just give me a second. I just want to open up a new tab, and let's go. One of the videos that we can go and watch.
Someone's handed back an unopened
Hold on. Jar
of mayonnaise.
You're still a man, Cedric.
I YouTubed how to change a light bulb.
You're a man.
I took a microwave on.
Wait a second. I'll share it now. I'm confused by this ad. Anyway, okay, I'm gonna share it now. Here it comes. Okay, so these are winners. Okay, so here it says the Cannes Lions 2016 Radio Grand Prix, the Everyman Meal from KFC, the Everyman Meal, colored weights by Ogilvy and Mather Johannesburg, or Matter, right? Matter.
Hello.
Hi.
Oh, hello, Cedric.
Someone's handed back an unopened jar of mayonnaise.
You're still a man, Cedric.
I YouTubed how to change a light bulb.
You're a man.
I took a microwave on a camping trip.
You're still a man.
Watching synchronized swimming, it really calms me.
Man.
I like my eyebrows tidy.
Yes, you do. And you are still a man.
I work out in the colored weights section.
Well, men can do that.
Sports is gross.
Still a man.
My nipples are sensitive.
Mine too. Man.
I don't high five. You know, germs.
I know. Still a man.
I walk.
Yeah?
Speed walk.
Speed walking.
Uh-huh.
With the hips thing.
Yep.
Ah, still a man. The fully loaded man meal from KFC for every kind of man.
I love you.
I love you too, man.
It's a great advert. That's great. The one date one. So funny. That's so good. Okay. I think let's do another one here. And then you can go and look at those particular links on your own. Let's do another one over here.
Give a little thanks with the.
Give it a second. Here we go.
Have a Sprite and cheer for Sonia.
It really gets the senses going. The KFC one was much better. I'm gonna laugh. I'll share that to social media. That's very funny. Okay. Just to kind of share, I just want to share and close up the lesson, yeah. All right. So just I think it's just a closing message. It's a conclusion. Follow the design thinking approach, understand your audience deeply, and craft stories that resonate and compel action. All right. So that brings us to the end of the formal the formalities. There's still, look, there is lesson obviously 83 and 84 that once again I'm just going to reiterate focuses on those 10 steps of the RAB great storytelling. We are going to cover that in the class, okay? And I'll see you then. Have a great week.